Thank you guys for being here. As from the last press conference, we'll have a microphone circulating for questions. State your name and media affiliation when you ask your question. With us today from Princeton, we've got head coach Mitch Henderson, Miles Stevens, and Richmond Ari Ragozo. We'll begin with an opening statement from Coach, have questions for our student athletes, and then we'll finish with the questions for Coach.
I just want to say something about the seniors. Miles, Elias, Noah, and Devin. We had a tough year. And these guys, really starting last spring, it's sort of how you define things is very much internal, and I'm proud of the leadership we had from the group. So, and in particular, that we've been fighting hard all season to have a half like we had in the second half, and didn't come out the way we wanted, but we definitely put ourselves in a position to win, and it's a testament to Miles and the rest of the seniors.
Questions for student athletes?
Kyle Franco with the Trentonian. Miles, was it like a helpless feeling in the last 3 minutes having to watch, and how would you kind of describe that, having fouled out and just having to watch the last 3 minutes?
You would think that it would feel helpless, but watching the game and watching the young guys go out there and compete, I was actually really confident in them. I was telling them after the game, there were 3 freshmen, a sophomore, and Richmond in the game, and they were holding their own. They were defending. They were making shots and making plays. So I was really confident in them. Of course, I wish I was out there, but I was proud of how they were playing out there.
Kevin Whitaker, Princeton Alumni Weekly. For Miles, what did you think of the fouls that were called against you?
Careful.
I didn't agree with them. It's the way that the game goes. Every now and then, no game is going to be perfect. They're on me and my team, so of course I'm going to say I disagree with the calls, but it is what it is, and we had to play through it. So.
You lost to this team on your home court by 23 just 7 days ago. You're down 12 at the half. What made you think you could get back into the game? What did you talk about at halftime?
We always knew we still had a shot. They're a very veteran team, but we have hoopers. So we have guys that just go out and fight, and we decided to fight. And, it was going our way, and then it wasn't. But I'm proud of the way our guys fought. We've been in situations like that before. When we're down 10 at halftime, we're like, hey, we have 20 minutes. We've been down 8 with 2 minutes left and come back in game. So, whenever we're in a deficit like that, we're like, hey, just put our foot on the gas and put them on kind of the receiving end of that punch, and then we made a run.
Jack Graham from the Daily Princetonian. How much of a factor do you think playing on Yale's home court was, given that they had obviously a much larger fan base here?
I think early in the game, you could hear their fans a lot, but I think the second half when we kind of made that run, you could kind of hear our fans, and it was pretty loud in there. I think it was pretty even midway through the second half. I thought our fans were they showed out well, and I'm proud of that.
Final question for student athletes.
Richmond, what do you take away from, what experience do you take away from this setting as you guys went down the floor? It was like 3 freshmen and yourself and a sophomore on the floor. What do you take away from being in this environment really for the first time?
I think it's just an example that just goes to show you how hard winning is and how devoted and dedicated to the details you have to be. So when you come to these situations and you're missing a guy like Miles, like other guys can step up and then get the job done. So it just goes to show you just how hard winning is. And then it makes you want to go back in the gym and just paying attention to all those little details, and makes you wish that you had going forward, going backwards, so then going forwards, you're not going to have those regrets.
Thank you to our student athletes. I'll take you back to the locker room. And we'll open up for questions for Coach.
Coach, you start the game with 2 turnovers and end up with 10 after turning it over 26 times last week. That had to be a point of emphasis for you, and you have to be very pleased with that.
Yeah, 25, George, and on
Excuse
Friday.
me.
But each one of those hurt, and you know, we thought we could come in. We had to come in and have 6, and I thought they needed, you know, and credit goes to them. They're 16 for 16 from the line. They needed to be, and we needed a couple more shots. So those 10 turnovers, while good, wasn't quite good enough.
Mitch, did you feel like this was almost like a what if? You know, what if Miles didn't foul out? What if Ryan didn't get hurt before the game?
Yeah, you know, right now, Kyle, I think right now there's no, you know, there's not like any sort of any lesson here, but I'm proud of what Miles said, which I felt similarly, that we gave ourselves an opportunity to win the game. And, you know, I like the team that was out there. And what an incredible opportunity that those guys put us in. Jalen making big shots. Ethan, you know, for the season, I told Ethan he's got to work on his rebounding. He's been getting rebounds for us. Jerome making some shots, Sebastian making shots. So they had to make all of those free throws. Every little play they had to make to win the game, and they did.
Considering the 2 players you lost, considering how young this team was today, maybe it's too early for this, but as you look back on the season, did you get the maximum out of this team you could just to get here?
I mean, I hope so. You know, that's the goal, is to see the guys get better every day. And I thought today we got a lot better with the young guys. I was just so impressed with their poise and the way they responded to each other. If I would describe what the number one thing I like about coaching, it's the way they played in the second half. It was just fun. And they were having such a good time, and the way they were responding to each other, and every play was working that we called. I mean, it just, there's a lot of really good young guys on the team, but that's the same team that we beat 2 years ago in the finals in the tournament. Every single guy out there is the same except for Swain and Atkinson. So that's a good team, and we had them.
What was your message to your team after the first half? Why do you think they came out playing so much better?
Yeah, we got them right where we want them. We were down similar amount in the first game here, and honestly, we've really struggled to score. And we had 33 points at half, and I just said, "Hey, we're doing great. Like, we haven't scored at all. Like, we just got to start guarding." And I told them if we could get, they can't get 70, and that's going to be really hard. And when Miles fouled out, we were up 67, 60s, something like that. And we had them.
Coach, was that the Jalen Llewellyn you thought you had right from the start this year?
Yeah, like, look, like, there's no straight line, right? Like, it's like this, right? But it goes like this, you know, and it's so unfair to put expectations on somebody that needs growth and time. And he was out for 7 weeks with an injury. He, you know, everything we've asked him to do, he took on a huge load for us on the defensive end, and then we lose Devin, and then we lose Ryan, and we're losing experience and size, and he stayed with it. He did a really good job, I thought, on Copeland. That kid's really hard to guard. And then, yeah, you saw some signs tonight of what he's going to be, right? Like, but best thing is I called a play for us to be going this way to the right, and he changed it to go this way. And that's all I've ever asked him to do, is just you do it. You take over.
Mitch, are you guys done, or will you entertain the possibility of postseason?
We're finished.
Any final questions? Thank you, Mitch,
Thank
for your
you.
time.